Gets to the lane again. Mo Green doesn't get it. Wow. That's just the story of the game. And there it is. John gonna walk away. 2022 Max League champion! What's going on, NMAA family? We are back after the championship Sunday. I am here with the three other hosts. My name is Warren Sahir, and we are here with Ozzy, Dev, and Ramsey. I'm not going to ask Dev yet. Ozzy, how you doing today?
Well, the important question is, how are you doing? I didn't even think you'd be able to get through the intro.
Not great. Not great. I'm doing not great, but we're powering through for the fans, for you guys, and I got to see Dev's face too. He's smiling the whole time. He's calling me, asking me how. Oh man, it was such a great game. I'm like, yeah, that was a good game. But we'll get to that. Ramsey, how you doing today,
man?
Bro?
After those set of games, I'm feeling absolutely phenomenal. Those games were crazy. Worse, I apologize. But hey, at least we lost to the champs. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't lose to no third place, fourth place. I said we, so me and you both lost to them. It's all good.
Yeah. I wanted to be the champs, not lose to the champs. But Dev, how you doing today, bro?
Good, man. Doing really good. Warriors, I've been in your spot a lot too. So I can't even I know that feeling's terrible. It really is. I've been to the finals and lost, I think, 6 times.
You've lost 6 finals? Wow.
6 times. I think 3 of them to Ozzy. Yeah. I believe 3 of them to Ozzy.
I've never lost the finals.
One or 2 to Mujahid, and I can't remember the other one. No, but tough. Just they're. It's never fun because usually those games are not blowouts. If it's a blowout game, it's a rare thing. But usually it's a close grinding game until somebody just kind of gets that little run that they need. No, that game fantastic, but I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Doing much better than I am. But Ozzy, what do you got for us league news?
By the way, I've never lost a championship game. Just want to throw that out there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not over 6. So, anyways, some league news. It's the only shot I got at Dev. He won the damn title. All right. League news. So, first of all, guys, thank you all for playing this season. It was an exciting, fun season. I've been getting nothing but positive feedback from coaches. I had my exit interviews with the coaches yesterday. We copied the NBA with everything, and everybody is happy and loved it. They love the Max League. A few players on Sunday came up to me, said they love the Max League, the extra games. Everybody's pretty sad about the long break. So I'm really proud to hear all that. It's really good to hear that you guys are really enjoying what we're putting out there as a product and as a culture. And so we're really looking forward to coming back next season. So for all 96 of our players, all 12 teams, all 12 coaches, all the staff members, the refs, we're from all of us, man, we're really happy that you guys. Thank you for playing. We're real happy that you guys had a good time. With that being said, so the timeline now for next season, we're in the off season. Registrations start June 1st. As you guys might have heard, if you've been following the podcast, we're coming back with 2 leagues. We are created. For now, it's a working name, a G League, for the more casual player. So we still have to define what that is. So the Pro League will still be in existence. It will still be a Max League. The price point will still be the same. It's $125. Details will be posted in June. So hold off on how many games and dates. Now, the target date is August 3rd. That's the target date for week 1. I have not booked those dates with UCF yet. So, but if you want a target date, August 3rd, you will have to get pretty much all your money into us by the 2nd week of July. We'll post that. And then I'm going to let Dev talk for a second. We did offer the $25 deposit for everybody to hold your spot. Dev?
Yeah, so just as a reminder, guys, 96 players in that Max League. That was the biggest season, Ozzy, we've ever had, right? With 96 players. Yeah, so biggest season. We appreciate everyone showing up, but we have to downsize to 80. That means that there's cuts. There's some players, fortunately for everybody who's playing last season, there's some players who are not returning, so that kind of makes it a little easier. But if you want to lock in your spot, the $25 deposit at least locks that spot in. We're not offering that to everyone. So just so you know, if you didn't meet maybe a certain level of conduct, if you didn't maybe meet what we're looking for, maybe we just don't fit as far as NMAA goes, you may not be extended that invitation. NMAA is a fully invitational league. So for that reason, I just want all the players to understand that we've had guys here for years. We'd love to continue playing with everybody. We want everyone to play, but it is going to be a first come, first serve setup this time around. And we're happy that we're getting to this level, and we appreciate everybody who supports us.
Yeah, thanks, Dev. So send those $25 in. Same payment methods you guys used before. Preferably send it to me. If you send it to Dev, that's fine, but it should be to me just to eliminate extra work for Dev, please. And just to highlight that again, yeah, we're cutting down to 10 teams for the Max League so that we can have room for the G League. It's all going to be on the same day. It's going to be 9 to 12. We're not changing the hours because none of us want to play more hours. So it's going to be both leagues on the same day, and there will be a bye week. So that's how that's going to work. So, yep, if you want your spot in our what seems to be very popular league, guys, get your money in to hold that spot. All right. With that being said, I believe that's all I got. Wars, did I miss anything?
I think that's all you got. But yeah, with that, let's go to the recap.
You're listening to the NMAA Podcast.
Welcome to a brand new episode.
So we had 3 games this past weekend, 2 semifinals, and obviously the championship game. The first game we'll go through is Jund versus the Sultans. This was a hotly debated game. I picked the Sultans and I was wrong, but Jund wins 70-59. I'll go through the box scores and then I'll kick it to you, Dev. James Nicholson L, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Alex Ford, only 17. Might be like a season low, right, Dev?
I think it is actually a season low for him.
Yeah. Chris Malcolm, 11 points, 15 rebounds. Jabari Grant. I don't like this guy. Man.
Jabari.
16 points,
Jabari
16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Kaz had 3 points. Trayvon had 6. From the Sultan side, Zach Pope had 22. It was kind of quiet until the fourth quarter. He had 4 assists, 6 rebounds. Ronald Williams had a great game. 14 points, 10 rebounds.
I swear I think Ronald did that in the first half. Now, not the rebounds, but the 14 points, I think it was all in the first half.
It was all first half. It's crazy.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Joe Wynn. Kind of quiet game from Joe. Dev did a good job against Joe. 9 points, 6 assists. Dane had only 7 points, 5 rebounds. Demage had 7 points. But speak about this game, Dev. How did it go from start to finish?
Number one, I mean, my brother already knows you pick the big brother, man. You don't pick the small brother. Experience plays, and I've won too many titles to pick the little brother. He's too young in this game.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just a little too young to play up against me.
I love it.
All right, so first one, too. Like I said, when you're picking teams, you go based on a resume of success. And this goes to all the younger coaches. My resume of success shows it. I beat him the first time. I plan on beating him the second time. And Zach and Joe are hearing it again also. Joe, game plan, Joe, you're a great player, dude. There's no taking it away from him at all. He's fantastic. I'm not notching him at all. The only thing was I told my guys, don't reach. Do not reach on him. Because the one thing Joe does do, he will burn you the very second you put your hand close to the ball. And he just needs it. He's waiting for it. So don't reach. Luckily for us, he did miss shots. And the reason I'm saying luckily is because he had to open shots. So it wasn't like he couldn't have scored those. Zach Pope turned it on late. Same thing though, Wars. Like I said, back and forth, and then one big shot. City called a timeout when Kaz hit a 3. And I knew he was going to call a timeout because 3 other threes hit before that. Jabari hit like 2 contested back-to-back. James hit 1, and then Kaz hit 1. And when Kaz hits it, it's like, dang, now I'm deflated. I got to stop this run. I got to stop this run because, that player gives you the extra hype. So Sultans, great game. No doubt about it. I once again, same thing, though, going into that game. It wasn't like I didn't feel like we could lose, but I just wasn't stressed about it, just like I was in the first time around. I felt like I'd be able to hold it down. And then I did really good in 3-2. Chris Malcolm, thank God for Chris Malcolm. Oh my God, I don't know how much he protects on the defensive side. He's insane on the defensive side. Love Chris Malcolm. So I mean, as far as that game goes, I didn't get to. I mean, I'm watching it from the coaching perspective of it. But I think we controlled it.
Yeah, I got some thoughts on that game. Sultans are going to hear from me. I watched a lot of that second half. I saw some of the first half. Just like on Dev's point, Chris Malcolm's made a huge difference and the way Jun played, he covers them up, he gets the rebounds, he changes shots, he blocks shots. Offensively, I mean, it wasn't like it was they were killing it. I mean, 17 from James and Alex. That's not great. You know, that's for them. You know, that's solid, but it's not great. Jabari was an X factor. My problem with Sultans, and first it starts with Zach and Joe, who showed up like 2 minutes before tip off. And I'm asking, who was it? Oh, it was Marquise, the photographer that comes for Joe. He showed up like around 10:20, and he comes up to me and he was like, "What time did the game start?" And I said, 10 a.m. tip. And he was like, "Oh man, I'm late. I thought it was 10:30." I was like, "Why do you think it was 10:30?" He's like, "That's what Joe told me." And so it looks like maybe if I extrapolate from that Joe and Zach didn't know the correct time. And to show up to a semifinal game when you could have been in the gym at 9:30 getting ready, and you show up 2 minutes for a tip off, is inexcusable to me. And these are good guys, and I know they take it serious. So I'm not making pointing any fingers. There must have been a miscommunication somewhere. But you can't walk into a semifinal game in NMAA 2 minutes for the game and think you're just going to wreck it. You're going to kill it. You're just not. You got to be ready. You got to get in. You got to warm up. You got to get your mind ready. You're just going to walk
I don't know if
in.
you do this, but I lie to my players.
I do that all the time. I'm not even joking. I lie to them.
And I would love to hear from Sadiq what happened, because I know that Sadiq did his job. I know his team knows the right game time. So I don't know what happened.
If the man bought them T-shirts, I would assume he told them the right time for the game.
Right. Like Sadiq shows up with personalized T-shirts for every player on the team. It was amazing, and they started out great. I mean, they were getting Ronald Williams the ball. John did not have an answer for Ronald. And then in the second half, gone.
I was praying to God. I was praying to God that Ronald did not come out and do that, because I would have had to move James over to him. And if I had moved James over to him, that means Zach now becomes a big option. So I was like, man, please do not keep giving it to Ronald, because now I didn't have a decision on how to play that. Because I wasn't expecting. Ronald just took off on every play. He was down the court every time so fast, and Kaz was guarding him. Kaz is not going to run that fast with Ronald.
Right. And so that's my problem right there also. And this is where in-game adjustments matter. So Ronald Williams gets taken out in the second half, I guess. Right, Dev, you put James on him. So where's the adjustment?
I didn't switch him because he never passed the ball back to him. They never really passed the ball after that. So
they just went away. They just went completely away from Ronald. Okay, so that's my problem. Again, what are the Sultans doing? All right, their two best players show up 2 minutes for a tip-off. They go away from the guy in the first half who was wrecking John and kept it a close game. Actually, Sultans had a lead. They were just swapping leads. And, and they went away from that. And at the end of the day, then ended up being Joe and Zach just kind of, forcing the shots. And it really did look like they were forcing shots at the end. And they just weren't dropping. And John pulled away and won. And I know there were some complaints about officiating. Listen, I really do love Zach and Joe in my league. And this is primarily from Zach. But man, I'm over the crying about the refs. I watched it. It wasn't egregious. It wasn't that bad. There were some missed calls, but for the most part, some of the non-calls that he thought was a foul was not a foul. I mean, I even said it on camera. Like, that's not a foul, Zach. Keep playing. So Zach's got to knock that off and play. He's just got to get over it. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. I think the Sultans totally were not ready for that game. They broke apart in the second half, and that's why they lost.
Well, that makes sense, but that punched the ticket for Dev to the final, the second semifinal, MIB versus Showtime. We pulled it out 56-55. I'll go to the box score, then I'll talk about it a little bit. I think Ramsey watched this game as well. Marcus Hilliard, 9 points. Romello Bates, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. Mo Green, my guy, big buckets, big biceps, Mo Green, 14 points. Hit 2 crucial threes. Yeah, everybody else was pretty quiet, man. For Showtime, the big 2, or they had a big 3, but Chris Emile only had 8 points. We usually do a good job. He had 8 against us the first game as well. Josh Fillmore, 24.
Terrible.
Yeah, Josh Fillmore had 24. Demetrius had 13 points, 13 rebounds.
Why did Chris? I'm sorry to interrupt. Why did Chris only have 8 points? Why did you guys shut him down, or was he just off?
Yeah,
he not get the ball?
No, he didn't get the ball because we were just face guarding him the whole time. I told Marcus, Jamal, Mo, I told them, grab his jersey and don't look at anything else. I don't care if there's a rotation or anything. On one play, Josh got on a pick and roll, went by, and basketball wise, that was Marcus's help, and he went away from Chris. And Josh thankfully didn't pass it to him. I started yelling at Marcus. I'm like, Marcus, no, give the layup up. I don't care. Don't leave Chris open. Yeah. He goes, okay. So he was pretty much neutralized. He only hit 1 3. The rest of his points, I think he hit 2 on a fast break, and then he got 3 free throws.
That's a big loss.
Demetrius, we did a good job of kind of keeping him in check as well.
13 points is definitely keeping him in check. I mean, personally, at least that's what I think.
Demetrius told me, I know we're interrupting, sorry. Demetrius told me he was fouled so many times that he almost got ejected, but he kept his composure. He was so frustrated after the game. He told me that several times.
So I think me and Zach both agreed. And I don't know if it wasn't necessarily bad refereeing. It was inconsistent. So they would, and I think since it was 3 refs, they rotated at half. Because in the first quarter, we had 7 fouls and Showtime had 0. And then in the fourth quarter, Showtime had 10 fouls and we had 3. So it was just, I think when we switched sides, there was one ref that was playing like a little more ticky-tack fouls, and then the other side was kind of letting them play. So it just seemed like, what is going on? Like, call it one, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like bad calls necessarily. It was just, we called the same thing on both sides. But
yeah,
regardless, we only scored 56 points. Showtime played us really well. They played a high kind of matchup 2-3 zone, and we weren't hitting shots, man. If you look at it, Marcus had 9, Melo had 21, Mo had 14. Yeah. That's a combined for 44 points. We scored 56. The rest of the team, including Quan, Austin, Jamal, me, and I'm not just including me in this, I'm in this, and Isidore, we combined for 12 points.
The fact that Austin and Quan only had 9 points total, your 2 best players after.
I was going to ask, what was the total between Austin and Quan? And
Austin had 5. Quan
that's
had
crazy
4.
that you guys won the game then.
Yeah, and he still won.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We only won because Mo Green showed up and he hit a tough shot after tough shot.
I saw Mo. I watched Mo play. I saw, Mo, best game of the season. Mo showed up, man. Mo showed up. I was very impressed with Mo Green.
Yeah, Mo showed up, and I was like, and you know what? We came out flat again. Against Ozzy, we came out flat, and I was hoping that this would be a wake-up call. We barely pulled it out against Showtime. Oh, Josh Fillmore had a chance to win the game, by the way. At the end, Romello got fouled, hit one of the free throws, missed the second one. Josh had a chance to go hit like a 35-footer, which if he hit that, I'd be way more depressed right now. But he shot a contested 35-footer. I said, if this goes in, no. Hell no. But
how scared were you?
Yeah, it went up. My heart stopped. I was like, I'm having a panic attack. Yeah. If this goes in, I got to go to the hospital. Like, this is not. And then it went off the front of the rim, and I was like, okay. Yeah. Okay, we're good. But Ramsey, you saw some of this game, bro. What did you think about the game?
I totally forgot Ramsey.
Listen, watching this game from the sidelines, it was absolutely insane. One of the games of the season, I believe. I mean, it was a whole game of runs, back and forth. Romello was absolutely atrocious in the first half. Offensively. Defensively, he always does good. But, bro, he could not buy a bucket. I don't know what happened. After halftime, he came out firing. Back-to-back shots, three-pointers, layups, floaters. The dude was unstoppable. And, you guys already spoke on this. Mo Green was absolutely freaking phenomenal, playing out of his mind. I don't know what kind of pre-workout he took, but the dude was ready to play today. Even in the finals,
like Green. That's what I'm trying to get my arms to look like.
I swear, man. I swear. I would say, like Warren said, there was a lot of fouls that weren't called and that were called that were just, very like, you're like, why are you calling that? And I believe right in the beginning of the game, there was 2 fouls called, and me and Skyler, the clock guy for the game, looked at each other and were like, damn, like it's going to be this kind of game. Like these are horrible calls right now. And War said, Josh had a chance to win the game with that 35-footer. It sucks, to lose in the semifinals, and you feel like, man, I'm right there, right about to make it to the championship. And basically, I know Showtime, how they're feeling like, if we would have beaten MIB like during that game, they were probably feeling like we're the champions. Like, we're gonna beat John. Like, because MIB was the number 1 seed, and that's how you're feeling. If we beat the number 1 seed, like, you got all the confidence in the world to win the championship, and it just sucks to lose like that.
But you know what's worse than losing in the semifinals? Losing in the finals. John versus MIB, the championship game. Yeah. John pulled it out 74-64. And I'll go to the box score, then you guys can talk about it. I might just be quiet. James Nicholson L, 13 points, 6 rebounds. Alex Ford, 31 points, 9 free throws, 4 threes, 4 assists. Got a steal and a block as well. Jabari Grant, 13 points. Felt like he had more than that. 3 rebounds. Trayvon Sharp, 7 points. It says 9 3-pointers made. I think it means 9 rebounds. But
crap.
MIB for us, Romello, 23 points, 4 threes, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Austin with 13 and 10. Got 4 assists and 2 steals. Mo Green, another big game, 12 points, 8 rebounds. I started him after the Showtime game. I was like, bro, you got to play. Marcus with 9 points, Quan with 7. But yeah, Dev, speak about this game a little bit.
So just again, I got to shout out to Romello. He almost had a triple-double in both games. I don't know how he played in the Showtime game, but still, I mean, clearly he's doing everything on the stat category. So it's like, even if he might not be doing something, he's a pain to deal with, though. When I mean an absolute pain, it is. I watched consistent amount of Romello videos to watch footwork, to watch like everything that I could see if I could pick him apart in some way. The only thing I could find about Romello was, guys, he only got one weakness. He ain't going to take a bad shot. That's the weakness I discovered, that he won't take a bad shot. So my thing was, could I hedge him enough to not allow him to shoot, but to drive and still play the contest with Chris Malcolm? And that's essentially what I did. But I also know that because he won't take a bad shot, he's going to defer. So in my opinion, Romello's more like a LeBron than he is a Kobe or a Michael or those guys. So I lived on it and it worked. And it worked, at least for me. Austin, in the first game, honestly, if Austin Pack had came alive, I was going to be in some trouble because we didn't have much of an answer for Austin. And I knew that. I already knew that. I just knew that if Austin makes his cuts, Austin keeps flying and gliding, we're going to have a hard day. So I was happy that Austin calmed down. Quan, I didn't have a lot of him in the first time around, so I wasn't game planning heavy. I just figured guard him from the 3. Alex, though, coming off of 17 points, he did tell me, Ozzy, so you're aware, he was a little spited on the MVP vote. And and he did tell me, he's like, that's all right. I'm going to be finals MVP. He said that. He said it. Now, he said it as soon as Romello was awarded it. He said it. That's all right. All right, we're good. You guys don't want to vote for me. You guys don't know me. I cool that we could do that. He's like, but I'm going to be finals MVP and no one's going to doubt it.
I love how
I don't think anybody could doubt him being finals MVP.
No, he definitely earned it.
No.
He incredible. I still, like I said, Waris, at the beginning of the season, after I saw him for the 3 games, I said top 3 player. I still, hands down, I think he's a top 3 player right now.
Waris, let me ask you a question. Did the second game hurt you guys? Did it hurt your legs?
Yes. Yeah. So what happened was, the second game in the same day, it was, especially the way we play, we're kind of run and gun. Even on a made shot, we want to go. And that's how we had to win against Showtime, because their set defense was pretty solid. So we were trying to get on fast breaks a lot. And I think Romello especially was tired. And we spoke about this earlier in the season. I always tell him, we have a timeout in the first half that goes away if we don't use it. So use it. You know what I mean? But he's like, if we're in the rhythm, blah, 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 we're good. In this game, he dribbled a little bit. And he looked, I didn't tell him because I stopped telling him because he's never called it. So he looked at me, he goes, we got a timeout, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's kind of breathing and he's dribbling. He's not even calling the timeout. So I'm like, ref, we want a timeout. So he's like, all right, cool. And then he comes and sits down, drinks some Gatorade. And I was like, okay, we're kind of tired right now. But I was like, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, the thing is, and just to put it on the podcast now, I know I talk about it with people in the gym. The reason we do back-to-back on the same day, it comes up every season. is that at the end of the day, we want to do both games on the same day, because if we split the championship out on its own day, it's going to be kind of an empty gym. It's going to be quiet. You're not going to have that crazy crowd that we had for your guys' game. I mean, it was almost like standing room only. You had fans on the bleachers and all across the court. And then in that fourth quarter, I saw maybe 4 people with cameras. We had the Sadiq, the Sultans coach, doing a live stream on Twitch. Footage was doing the YouTube video. I ended up doing Instagram Live. It was just a packed house for us. So we do it. If we split it, we're not going to have that. So that the downside is, yeah, you got it's just legs, cramps, things like that, and it does suck.
Now, just to attribute to that, I ran a 3-2 consistently against Sultans to protect the guy's legs. I took out Chris in Sultan's game actually too, to protect his legs. But when I took out Chris in the third quarter, which Waris knows they made their run, I literally said, Trayvon, listen to me. You're going to go in. Alex is going to dribble 3 times. You're going to set 3 screens. And every single consistent play, Romelo's going to run into 3 screens from you.
He's flaring those elbows out, too. I was like, ref, you got to call that.
Quarter. I say, do it for a whole quarter. I promise you he has to slow down by the 4th. He has to. There's no way they can play man if they just played Showtime and play man against us the whole time. Alex keeps you on your toes. Romelo, I know Romelo's invincible in cardio. He really is. But I'm like, there got to be something to wear this guy down. So I'm like, look, he's going to have to run into Trayvon as many times as possible. And that's exactly what it was. So I figured in the fourth quarter, and just like you guys said, they missed a ton of layups in the fourth quarter. I think that was just legs. I don't think it was anything else but legs.
Yeah. Some shout outs. First of all, very intense game. The very fast game. The Pro League, if you wanted a game to show what the Pro League was all about and the level of talent and athleticism and physicality and speed, that MIB Jung game, especially in that second half, man, it was there. Yeah, I was just standing there back, and I was talking to Pat, who's one of the refs, and he was watching with me, and we were just like, this game is intense. I mean, it's intense. You got to be ready. Like every possession, dribble, man, it was just. So that was a really kind of a proud thing for me to watch, because it's unintentional. Dev and I are not marketing to try to upgrade the league like that. It just ended up happening. But a couple shout outs. Shout out to Trayvon. He had himself, I think, a solid day.
He closed out that game for me. Those 6 or 7 points, I think, were in the fourth.
Yeah. He did it in both games where he scored like 6 points in a row in both games. So, I mean.
My game as well.
Yeah.
He scored
so that's huge. Right. That's huge. That, like, when you get a player off the bench that comes in and bang, 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 impact. That's huge impact. Also, a veteran move to take almost 90 seconds off the clock on stalling at the free throw line.
That's nonsense. I was so upset.
You should be.
Tell him that was completely Trayvon. Trayvon, 100% credit to you for that.
Yeah, he pump faked the free throw, and then Quan stepped in, and they called a lane violation when he missed the free. I'm like, he pump faked. You can't do that.
Yeah, missed call. So Jeff did give him a delay of game warning the first time because Trayvon walked to half court. He's like, get your butt back here, and that's a delay of game warning. But when he pump faked, that's a violation on Trayvon. He can't do that, and they didn't call it. So that's a blown call by the refs, and so that's it is what it is. But
and I know we're talking good about Mo Green. Sorry, Mo Green, I got to call it out. That turnover was rough, buddy. That turnover.
Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't know. So I asked him after. So what happened was for the people that didn't see it, nobody was there, and Romelo was inbounding the ball, and he called Mo Green to come get it, and Mo came back, and then Jabari rushed over to guard Mo, but he wasn't there yet. So Romelo threw it in, thinking Mo's just gonna keep going, and as soon as he threw it, Mo turned around and tried to do like a spin move or something on Jabari, and then Jabari just got it. He stole the ball, stepped back to the 3-point line, which I actually want him to do. I'm like, oh yeah, shoot it. I'm like, shoot it.
I was screaming no the whole time because I believe in valued possessions on steals. So I was screaming no, and he took it and he made it. I couldn't say nothing.
He shot it and he swished it, and it went from it was an 8-point swing, and not an 8-point swing. There was an 8-point game at that time instead of a 5-point game. And then even though we hit a 3 on the next possession, we should have cut it to 2 instead of cutting it to 5 because of the steal. But it was tough. But you know what, man? They hit some shots. John deserved to win this game.
That's my other shout out. Shout out to Jabari. Jabari had himself 2 good games. as basically the third or fourth option on a team where it's ball dominated offensively by James and Alex. And he had 16 in the semifinal and 13 in the final, and he had big shot, big threes. Shout out to him. That's another X factor that stepped up offensively for John.
After the MIB game, I'll be honest, I called Jabari that night. I said, Jabari, listen to me. You're going to win us the title. You're going to win us the title because you're going to bring up the ball in the fourth, and you're going to close the game in the playoffs. And funny enough, that's exactly how it worked out. And I give it to Jabari because he didn't have to step up, but he did step up and play the right way.
Listen, Jabari played amazing, but can we just talk about James Nicholson's 2 threes on the top of the key?
He had it in
worst nightmare.
Game-sealing, game-shattering threes. I mean, the people on the sidelines were going crazy. I was going crazy. I was running up and down.
Oh, you were going crazy, Ramsey? You were going crazy? All right,
man, and Marcus, when he hit that 3, even though he was cramping up, that was crazy. And then his 3 off the backboard, I was like, what is going on?
This is my worst nightmare.
Bananas. Alex and James split a banana in between the games.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my worst nightmare. I don't know why I do this podcast. But congrats to John, man. Yeah. John deserved it. They hit some shots. Like, James hit those shots. Alex hit the snatchback on. I was like, oh, my God. And you know what? I do this thing sometimes where I try to play psychological mind games. Alex is one of the guys that I try to do it with because their pick and roll is really hard to stop. So I just start screaming at Alex, oh, he can't score without a screen. And Alex is the type of player that looks at me like, oh, yeah, I can't. And then he'll try to go one-on-one. And I'm like, perfect. And he actually does such a great move. Yeah. And he hit a step back and hit it in Romelo's face. Great defense and still scored back-to-back possessions. I was like, oh, crap. If he's doing this, this is gonna be bad news.
I want to say one thing as well. The whole narrative on Jun this whole season, and I said this in the group chat, that Dev's team always takes their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and they let teams come back and kind of play, and they play around with them. You know what I mean? But let me just say this: this entire playoffs, from the first game, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals, they came ready to eat. They was hungry, and they finished off the game. They finished off their food, right? And, I mean, they literally destroyed the narrative that – I mean, I kind of gave them that narrative, but –
You did. You said it on the podcast like 10 times. That's why they all just really honed in on it. And you called them food? I'm not food. I'm not food, Ramsey. They didn't finish no food.
They ate y'all like food, huh?
But,
no, you know what's funny, Ramsey, is that Ozzy tells me all the time, he's like, why you keep playing around? I'm like, I'm not playing around. I'm just testing things.
Yeah.
Lars,
because we played against it a lot, and he comes over, he's like, why'd you run that zone? I was like, I don't know. I felt like it was a good time to try it.
What is that?
It's so annoying. Yeah, I gotta do a couple call outs for Lars. Quan combined for 12 points, 11 points in 2 games, and that can't happen. So I mean, that's a big letdown there. Quan did not have a good finals day, and I know Stats doesn't always tell the story, but still, you can't have 4 points and have 7 points in the final as the third option on the team, sometimes second, and think that your team is going to get a win. That's just, you can't do that. And then Austin, we already know in the semifinal he only had 5, and in the semifinal he had 13. He got hit with a tech in the fourth quarter.
Austin had 5 in the finals?
In the semifinal.
No, he had 5 in the semi.
Oh, I was like, what? I didn't think he had 5.
Well, but even that, he had 13 in the semifinal, and that's low. Austin had to have
20. You need 20 from him.
He's got to be 20. So those were letdowns for MIB. Those two were, Mo Green did step up a little bit, but it's not enough. Austin and Quan could not have done that and expect MIB to get a win. So, it's unfortunate though. I mean, it happens sometimes.
But that's the thing, man. When you got Chris Malcolm, I know you didn't play against Chris Malcolm, but dog, he is a freaking beast, bro. He's a 7-footer guarding that paint, bro. Like, it's so hard to play against him. Like, even if you think you got an open layup, just like his presence alone kind of gives you that little like, dang, okay, is he gonna block it? Like, you kind of.
I told Forrest, I've had cardio issues with him throughout the season just because he's not working out as much, which is fine. But I told her, I don't know what got into him, but he was covering from the 3-point line extended all the way down for a percentage of the game. And I was like, he's stopping everything. He's stopping the three. He's stopping everything that comes in the paint. He literally stopped everything he could stop.
You know why, man? Because he brought his family out. When you bring your family out, bro, that gives you like
gotta win.
plus 10 energy, plus 10 hustle. You know,
my wife and kids were sitting there watching too.
I got a funny story about that. So in the semifinal game, Chris got the wind knocked out of him, so he's lying down on the floor, and I was recording, right? And if you've seen the video, you'll hear me. If not, if you watch it, you'll hear me. So when Chris was down on the ground, and you know people are checking him out, his wife comes sprinting to go check on him, and I'm watching that through the phone while I'm recording, and I'm sitting there like, wow, look at the dedication of Chris's wife, like the first one on the scene to check and see if he's okay. And then I start saying, I mean, I'm thinking about some of us and our wives. Like my wife would just sit in the bleachers and be like, when's he getting up?
yeah, my wife would laugh.
Stay down there.
Like, when you're standing up, why are you still on the ground, right? Chris's wife is there. I'm like, that's a good wife. Keep her.
Not only that, I believe she took off her shoes too and ran. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, who is that? And I seen her putting on her shoes when she got back to the bleachers. I was like, damn,
here we go.
Dedicated.
Kudos to Mrs. Malcolm.
Dedicated, baby.
Kudos to Mrs. Malcolm.
All right, Wars.
But that is the last recap of the season. And John, congratulations to John. Congratulations to everybody on their team. And it's well deserved. I'm happy that if I lost to anybody, it was to Dev, because his team was actually very, very good, and they took it from us.
No.
Wait, so which teams weren't that good? We trying to say
yours,
just
Ozzy's.
Listen, just so the coaches listen to this, and I don't want to keep getting called out as enemy number one. Ozzy keeps hiding behind my titles, despite him having more titles. So I won't discredit everybody not wanting me to have titles, but Ozzy should always be a part of the conversation because he hides behind me.
Oh, trust me, he's our number one target every single season.
No, but he hasn't
say
won since COVID. He hasn't won since before COVID, so we forgot about it already.
No, but he has 4. He leads it. So trust me, you guys don't want any of us to me or him. 4 and 3. That's what we got right now. And the thing is, me and Ozzy have separate conversations. We're like, y'all ain't gonna catch up. You guys are gonna catch up.
We'll catch up.
Dev, real quick. How many do Wars and Ramsey have? Combined?
Man, what is this, bro? Move on to the next segment. Move on to the next segment. This is over.
Math of 2 seasons per year. It's gonna take a little while.
It's gonna take a while. I could retire right now and come back in 4 years, and they wouldn't have caught me.
I'm making my own league. There's one team. It's just me, and I'm winning the championship 5 times a year. Then I'm gonna come on the podcast and talk smack.
You're listening to the NMAA Podcast.
Hit subscribe and don't miss the next episode.
And with that, the last recap of the season is over. Did not go as I planned and as I hoped, but we move on, and we're not doing keepers. So I got my whole team is in the group chat. My team is in the group chat like, hey man, so what are we going to do? We can play the same team again?
No.
I'm like, most likely not, man.
No, everybody knows it gets blown up and it restarts.
All I know is
do your best, Waris. I'm like, I will, but it's probably not going to happen.
I just need a top. I need a top 3 pick. That's it. I need a Romello. I need a Terrell. I need a Alec. I need a top 3 pick. Man. I'm tired of this 9-8 I've had for like 4 straight seasons.
Well,
hey, listen, I had the 6th pick. I had the 6th pick and still got Romello. So I'm hoping for number 1 now. I haven't had the number 1 pick. What were you saying, Ramsey?
Oh, no. I was just saying, what do you call it? Wars had the 6th pick, and he made a trade for Romello. So, it's all about trades, man. Yeah. Don't get attached to those players.
Trades are big. Trades are big. And
Coach of the year.
Done early. I watch coaches wait so long to make some trades, and I'm like, man, if you had done that so much earlier, it would have just make the trade and move on. That's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
One last thing though, just to close out. I know I wasn't going to say nothing, but I was thinking about something last night. Really specifically was that in any game, finals, championship, any game, every single moment, every single minute, every single second counts and matters. I kept hearing guys telling me like, hey man, look, we're going to bring it up this way because we may get a turnover if we bring it up another way. or we may, and just the constant level of adjustment. What I'm trying to show is that, for example, Kaz only had 3 points. If he didn't have that 3 points, I may not have gotten the momentum shift that I wanted. And what if that was Zayn? What if that was Ahmed Qasim? What if that was George Aponte? What if that was, and I'm just naming out some of the bottom tier players on purpose because I want everyone to realize that you're only ever going to be an NMAA as good as that last and final player. Mm-hmm. Every single thing leading up to the conclusion of that game, if it didn't work out the way it did, and like Wara said, it's a series of events that just played out extremely well, just in my favor. But nonetheless, I just want everyone to realize, like, guys, in any walk of life, you can't discredit a human being. A human being is incredibly powerful. So please, next season, when we get these players and those players are there and you may not think they can play, they only need to do one thing, which is maybe rebound, maybe get a steal, maybe hit one shot. And that could be the difference between you and winning and losing.
Agreed. No, that's well said.
Yeah, I mean, Showtime lost by 1 point. And that just one free throw. All they needed was one free throw.
Yep. All they needed was one.
Yeah.
But
that's it. That's all it is. That's why I just want guys to always remember, because we complain about it's so hard, man. I hate when people point fingers at other people when I'm like, you probably made a mistake in the game.
Yep. Exactly.
It happens. But with that, me and Ramsey with our ring list, we'll close it out. And I'm going to call this how many do you have, Ozzy? 4? Dev has 3?
Yeah.
We're going to, divided into all 4 of us, we have about 2.5 each. So 11 championship podcast.
The rest of the captain's numbers, I think we still beat it.
Oh my goodness, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If we count the other 10 coaches, I still think we lead.
That is ridiculous.
You know what? I'm going to check that right now. Why not?
Oh my goodness.
Bro, let's get the draft started already. I'm trying to play this next season, man.
Sultans 0, Showtime 1, Bless 0, Tawheed 0, 99 0, Amir 1. Amir 1? He's won 1? Amir?
Draft title?
Does he have a draft title?
He does have a draft title with Ricky Clay.
Okay, 1. Warriors 0. Huck has 1. Fonte has 0. Yeah, 7. It's 7-3.
Disgusting.
Dev, you got as many as all the coaches. we don't even got to do it together. It's so much fun. I love this.
That's why I made it out, because I'm always number one enemy. Coaching matters, fellas.
Coaching
matters. Oh, we're the top 1%. Top 1%. I like that.
Look at freaking Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk laughing at the rest of us. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I hate it.
Evil, the more championships they win, bro.
Yo,
it's crazy.
Honestly, we got to catch up, Ramsey. Come on, bro. All right. With that, everybody be happy. Everybody be healthy.
Wait.
Back.
Wait. We're talking about. Come on, bro. I won the pick 'em. What? You don't want to talk about that?
Oh,
wow.
That is true. That is true. I was going to give that in the awards. In the awards, Ramsey. I was going to say it. Yeah. Ramsey, after Ozzy had the 3-game lead going into the last week of the season, Ramsey pulled out the picks and won the picks championship. Ramsey is not winless, not titleless. He's got that title. Let's go. Round of applause, Ramsey.
I mailed it in.
Let's go.
Ramsey, you're the people's champ. You're the people's champ, Ramsey.
People's champ is Ramsey.
I freaking I mailed it in the last 2 weeks. I made terrible picks. I wasn't even thinking about it, and man, he just blew right by me. So
yeah, he won by like 5 games too. But anyway, with that, everybody be happy. Everybody be healthy. We'll be with you next week with the awards.
One more
Peace
podcast.
out, boys.
Yeah, one more podcast.
One more podcast. Peace.
This that national, Muslim athletics. Oh, we playing this the association. Pass it quick at the rim, make them shots, boy. Shots, snatch them things, lock them in, get them blocks, boy. Blocks. This that national, oh we national. This that national, oh we national. Pass it quick at the rim, make them shots, boy. Smash them things, lock them in, get them blocks, boy. Ball starts it, pass in an instance, grabbing the scrimmage, basket is singing. Home court, or they actually visit his tactics, killing it, talent, benefits, draft league of athletes, exactly laughing and happy when snapping. Magic of passing is happening. Trash speech, no slack, these surpass me. Keep you a shooter, granny shot, no underhand hooping. Point guard, make sure rock is moving. Big dog waiting on lobs, no losing. Popping boards at any cost. Man up, dog at any cost, at any cost. Box out, I can get them boys, can't get them all. Cardio needed, audio screaming, kill them on Dio, launch for the deep end. It's time out session, push to the end, find that aggression, cook up again, Rockets netting, NMAA, look around, best ball league in the old town. This that national, Muslim athletics. Oh, we playing, this the association. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots, boy. Shots, snatch them things, lock them in, get them blocks, boy. Blocks. This that national, oh we national. This that national, oh we national. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots, boy. Shots, snatch them things, lock them in, get them blocks, boy. Blocks.
It's a league. We're the fiends for the court. The speed in the sport, setting teams. With the need to lead, breathe, succeed at all costs. Dreams never lost. Fast play, pass fake. Where you at on draft day? First round of draft late. Don't end up in last place. Miss, stay shooting. Even with his backache. Laugh, till you pinned off the glass. Wait, just blew a fast break.
Substitution.
Back to the bench for that last play. Stay in the fast lane. Baseline cut. Easy bucket off the switch. Last second shot, buzzer beater for the clinch. Number one playoff spot, worked all season for this, but 8 seeds on top, upset like March Madness. Savage attack to the basket, classic. Run the ball through traffic, passion, not passive. Every game is massive. NMAA versus the world. Shout it to the masses.
This that national, oh we national. This that national, oh we national. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots, boy. Smash them things, lock them in, get them blocks, boy. Blocks.